Do you make routine practice of going into nursing homes and acquiring properties this way?
Get that camera off of me.
Well, did you know you were violating CMS policy when you gave those raises? Are you a guy people should be doing business with?
Who are you?
I'm Bill McGinty from WCNC in Charlotte.
Get out of here.
Those are questions everybody would like an answer to.
So does your cell phone battery drain quickly too? Mine always seems to. I'm always charging my phone at my desk, in my car, and then when I get home, turns out it's operator error, and it probably is on your end too. It's been said the average smartphone owner has 30 active apps downloaded, and many of them can and will run in the background, all of them collectively draining your battery. According to AVG Technologies, the biggest and best drain on your cell phone battery is your friend, Facebook, and its counterpart, Facebook Messenger. Spotify is a drain, so is Instagram, so is the WhatsApp app. And Retail Me Not may save you a lot of money, but it's costing you battery power. And check your email settings on your phone. I didn't realize that every time my phone updates email or alerts me to a new one, it's using power and data. Experts say adjust your email settings and turn off the alerts. If you have game apps, close them out because some of them will run all the time in the background. And if you're not using your Bluetooth and GPS, likewise, shut them down. They're big drains too. All right, 2 more things before I go. First, if your battery still seems to die, dim the brightness on your phone. If you drop it down to 50%, that's going to make a really big difference. Secondly, give your phone a good 8 to 10 hour deep charge. Turn it off, let it rest, and charge up. You're going to notice a very big difference. I'm Bill McGinty, your consumer investigator, NBC Charlotte. When you get out of a Lyft or an Uber or maybe another ride-sharing service, do you turn around and take a couple of quick pictures of the inside? Well, after you see this next story and hear this man's tale, you might want to do just that. It was a rainy October Sunday in the D.C. Metro. The Redskins were playing the Cowboys in what would shape up to be a soggy birthday surprise for Chris McGinty and his 17-year-old son, Matt. They both drove up to the game from Charlotte.
This was a huge gift for him. The smile on his face was something to be treasured.
Being out-of-towners, Chris did what a lot of us might do. They called an Uber to get to the game from their hotel. The Uber got Chris and Matt to and from, but the next morning, Chris says he got the surprise of his life inside the Uber app. He'd been charged an additional $150 for a cleaning surcharge. He felt like he'd been sacked. Chris and his son were wet from the game, but no more wet than the hundreds of other people who took an Uber home that day. And the driver, he could have called an audible and refused them admission into the car had they been that wet. And if water was an issue that day, why was the driver working in the rain? Did he really expect dry passengers at the end of this rainy day NFL game? He never raised an issue with you being wet?
Absolutely not. I don't think he engaged us in any conversation at all.
Chris tried to fight the penalty by disputing the charges, but Uber backed the driver's call, and the total charge of fare plus cleaning of $189 stood. Back in Charlotte, Chris McGinty emailed me, and I emailed Uber. And within 6 hours, Uber had a big and very sudden change of heart. Uber refunded Chris the cleaning fee of $150, and they refunded the fare of the trip another $39, and they gave Chris a $20 credit for future rides. Chris McGinty, your problem has been solved. So just before you get out of the car, lean in and take a couple of quick photos. That way, if there is damage done after you get out of the car, you'll be able to prove it wasn't you. I'm Bill McGinty, NBC Charlotte.
How did you even learn she was in the nursing home? Do you make routine practice of going into nursing homes? Did you know that she had dementia? Ma'am?
What you're watching is actually the end of our story.
Those are questions everybody would like an answer to.
The beginning starts here at this house at 515 Ideal Way in Dilworth. Last June, it was in foreclosure and it was set to be auctioned off. 7 bids were made on that house. The highest bid was $48,358. But none of those 7 bidders actually got this house. Instead, it was acquired for just $5,000 by a company called Home Appeal, which is run by Laura Shields. These state records show Home Appeal is based right here inside this small house over on Drexel Place in Charlotte.
Is there anything you want to tell us at all?
We'll get back to Home Appeal and Laura Shields in just a minute. But first, you need to meet some other people involved.
It's wrong. It's against, it should be against the law.
Pat Rader is sitting next to her mom, 88-year-old Mabel Bobo, who used to own this small, quaint home on Ideal Way in Dilworth. and did so for 56 years.
Memories on top of memory. I could write a book. I could. I raised 3 kids there.
Mabel had taken out a loan some years ago and had tied it to the house. When the loan wasn't repaid, foreclosure proceedings began. But 88-year-old Mabel wasn't aware of those foreclosure proceedings because she has dementia, as we saw during this interview at the nursing home where she now lives.
She has lapse in memory. She still pictures her home the way it was when she lived there.
Mabel loved her house in Dilworth and has fond memories that seem to come and go. It is sad, and it's hard for her children to watch their mother slowly slip away. Which brings us back to Laura Shields and her company called Home Appeal.
I said, I tell you what you do. You back off and leave me alone.
According to Mabel and the mobile notary that was there, Laura Shields, an investor, made surprise visits to her room inside this nursing home last summer. And during those visits, Mabel was asked to sign over the deed to her small home in Dilworth. The family didn't know, the nursing home didn't know, and sadly, even Mabel didn't know.
To come in to someone who's almost 90 years old and shove a piece of paper in front of them and to do it repeatedly until she was so tired of seeing them that she signed it to get rid of them.
We showed Mabel a copy of the deed that she signed for those strangers while she was lying in her bed, but her blank look was just that. Blank.
Do you remember signing this document?
No.
Do you remember people coming to your room and aggravating you?
Oh,
And
yeah,
shoving
big
papers?
time. Big time.
The I-Team and attorneys at the Serene law firm are now fighting to get the home back, as doctors say Mabel wasn't in any condition to sign the house and 2 lots away in the first place. The property resale value of Mabel's house in Dilworth, almost $250,000.
How would you feel if someone had walked into a nursing home and done that to your mom? Would you be okay with that?
So we confronted Laura Shields about her trip to that nursing home.
Do you make routine practice of going into nursing homes and acquiring properties this way?
But every question we asked her
How did you even learn she was in the nursing home?
got no answer.
Do you feel you owe the Bobos any type of an explanation, Laura?
Laura Shields may own Mabel's house at the moment, but she can't do anything with it. A judge's order now blocks any sale or any future development.
I want them not to be able to do this to other people in this situation.
Now, during a mediation between the two sides a couple of weeks ago, the family says that Laura Shields told them Mabel was paid $5,000 for her house when she signed that deed in her bed inside the nursing home. And Laura Shields says she's got an undated check stub to prove it. But Mabel doesn't have any bank accounts anymore, and her family says they never received a dime. The case to get Mabel's house back is now headed to court. With the I-Team, I'm Bill McGinty, NBC Charlotte.